Hello, just Jamie here. So this is a brand new tutorial for the Atari Jaguar, and this is going to be specifically about the new BigPEmu. It's been around for less than a year, and it was dropped by surprise. So a lot of the Atari Jaguar community was pretty shocked by the emergence of this emulator, and after playing around with it, I'm quite surprised with the features it's got. It even supports HDR, high dynamic resolution. Even supports different resolutions to maximize, obviously, the resolution, the quality of the game. So it's got a lot of stuff in there where historically Atari Jaguar emulators they've not been great. Some of you watching this might understand what I mean by that. Some games might run, some might not. So the BigPEmu promises to play everything, even Jaguar CD games. So first things first, if we just go to the BigPEmu website, and the link will be in the description for this, if we just go to download, where I'm already at, and download the current version, which of this recording is 1-054, just left click, download this, drag this onto your desktop. I'm going to start going to open a new folder here, and I'm going to just call it Jag. I'm going to then double left click on the BigP zip file. So make sure you got WinZip or WinRAR installed before downloading this. Just going to drag the contents of this zipped folder into that newly created folder called Jag I've just made. And once that's copied in, we no longer need this zip folder, so I'm going to just drag this one into my recycle bin. So let's open up Jag. So obviously your application, your type will say application. This is your main icon. You need to double left click to enter BigPEmu, so let's just do that. And you'll likely get this come up on your screen. It's a trusted download, it's very legitimate. It's not got any viruses or anything like that on it. It's fine to run. So just run anyway. And this will then boot up that iconic Atari Jaguar cube. So I'm using a PlayStation 3 controller for this tutorial. If you want to set up a PlayStation controller, you'll need to see a separate guide on that one. It's not as simple as just plugging in an Xbox controller. PlayStation needs third-party drivers to support them. So from here, if we just scroll down using D-pad to settings, you can just appreciate how many settings and different types of emulation you're going to get from BigPEmu. It's very good. So if you want to run Atari Jaguar CD games, they're going to come in a format of .bin.q files. So just make sure Jaguar CD attachments are enabled so the emulator can actually read them. So yeah, fair few things in there to mess around with. So, like I said, the Atari Jaguar, the reason originally there wasn't really many decent games on it is because the original hardware was very difficult for people to develop for, which is why this emulator BigPEmu is such a great thing, because there hasn't really been anything to compete with this historically. So I'm going to go down the video and I'm going to just show you what type of options we got. So it's almost like a PC game. You'll have borderless window, full screen window options. We've even got the resolution here. So by default, this is 800 by 600. Refresh rate is 60 Hertz. My TV I've linked this to, maximum is 60 Hertz, so that's fine. But if we go into this, you can see that you've got loads of different resolutions, and obviously make sure what screen resolution is your maximum, and also take a look at your user guide for your screen, what refresh rate your TV operates at. So mine, like I say, is 60 Hertz. I'm going to just attempt this tutorial on 1920 by 1080p, which is obviously 1080p. So I'm going to choose this one here at 60 Hertz, like I was saying, just select that. We've also got VSync, which is enabled by default. And like I was just saying, it's got high dynamic resolution, which is disabled. I do have HDR on my system, but I've not messed around with it to be honest yet, so I'm going to just leave this as disabled. We've also got lots of screen filters going on within these settings, so if you're into that old school TV look, the CRT look, you can go down and choose that option. We also got audio, which is pretty self-explanatory, and input. So we're saying there's two controllers connected. Obviously, scroll around, and you can have several different inputs, players that is. I'm going to just leave it by default. But the part you need to take notice of is if we go back into system, if we go to mount images, and this is how you're going to find your games and load them, we want to set cartridge image set. If we just go on here, and what you do from there is just set your directory. I've already done it, but you'll likely see directory on your setup saying ... Keep going back until you find where your Atari Jaguar game or games are located. So for this tutorial, I've already kind of done this as default by Alien vs Predator. So let's just see how well this runs. So press an X on that to set that game, and then to run the game, you just simply run with images. And there we have it. So by far the most loved game of the Atari Jaguar. Some people will argue it's the system's best game. I'm going to just select Colonial Marine. I think a lot of people tends to choose this option. So if you're not familiar with this game, it's pretty much a really primitive first-person shooter game. Now, controls might appear to be all over the place. If you're familiar with the traditional Atari Jaguar controller, it was odd to say the least. So as you can see, give or take, the original of this game on the original hardware was type of sluggish. It wasn't smooth as such. I've not played this for years, this game. I've entirely forgotten what's going on, but I don't recall it starting off in this room. But anyway, that's about it, what I can show you. So there we go, just managed to open the game. Like I said, it's going to take you a little while to get to grips with the controllers. The original Jag controller was very odd, almost as odd as the Nintendo 64 controller. So as you can see, and if you're familiar, like I said, with older Jag emulators, you will see how fluid this game is running. It looks very good. That's about it. And then to exit your game, I'm going to just press escape on my keyboard, and it will take you back to the menu. So to load your CD games, which I don't own any, all you're going to do is, if you go back to system, load software, and under your directory you will then look for your bin file. CD games of this era are likely going to be in a .q.bin format after extracting them. So run it just the same way as you did with your cartridge image, and the same process that will then load up your Jag CD game. You would need no BIOS files for this system. It runs straight out of the box, and it's highly recommended. It's a very good emulator. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope it helps someone out there.